Hot 82 6PR. This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
And it must be time to have a chat about technology, joined by Ben Aylett, as we always are, recognisable through his Hawaiian shirt. It's looking very red
very
tonight.
much.
Yes. It really looks like one of those Venus flytrap jobs, actually. But anyway.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, well, it does. BenAylett.com is the website.
Yep.
And you have a special guest.
I bought a friend.
Yes.
We have Brenda van Rensenberg with us today, and we are going to be talking about careers in cybersecurity. Hello, Brenda.
Hi, Ben.
How you doing? Okay, so tell us a bit about yourself, Brenda.
Well, tell us about your technical side.
Yeah.
So you go down this technical path. This is what I find fascinating.
Yeah.
You had in technology, I mean, I can see there are dozens of different ways. I mean, it's almost like the tentacles of an octopus where you could go.
Yep.
You ended up in cybersecurity.
Yep.
Why and how?
I guess it goes back to 92, where I was at university in the States. And that was before the public Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. And we had this challenge presented to us. So there was a couple of universities involved.
Yep.
Around, Holland, Belgium, Canada, USA, London, UK. Also Ireland was involved. And we communicated through ARPANET.
Yep.
And so we created these little chat rooms, and the challenge was to hack into the Pentagon.
I like it.
I didn't think much of it. I just thought it was some sort of...
You didn't think much of it. Somebody said, hack into the Pentagon.
No, I honestly, I just thought it was like some sort of, exercise or some sort of,
Brenda,
thing.
I can't believe you weren't more excited than the kid on Christmas Eve. Hacking into the Pentagon, that would just about be the piece de resistance, wouldn't it?
You knew what the Pentagon was back then, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. It was where I was positioned, it was about a 4-hour drive north of my university.
Oh, okay.
And so what we had to do back then, we didn't have websites. We had to work out what the telephone number to the server was. So
this just gets better, doesn't it?
So I think somebody in Holland was able to work out the direct dial to the server, and then that was shared between everyone in the. We all had these hacking names. We had these super spy names.
Can you give us your top secret name?
No.
Oh, bummer.
Good move.
I thought I'm just imagining it'd be something really cool.
Actually, it was sort of funny because they said you had to come up with a sort of hacking name, and I just got back from.
You know what mine would be if
fishing.
I was a super hacker? Razorback.
Not Redback.
No, Razorback. No, it sounds better. Sounds bigger and meaner. Anyway,
It
carry
does.
on.
So we got this telephone number, and then we obviously, all of us are now sort of storming the front door, the fortress, so to speak.
Yes.
But now we're presented with another problem, which is your admin and your password, your username and password. And everybody was having this massive chat about it's going to be something complex, and my argument was that it's going to be something easy. And no one believed me. And I said, look, just out of frustration, I said, let me just give it a go. And it was literally something like admin password or something really simple back then because we weren't, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was 8, you couldn't have more than 8 characters back then. And there wasn't,
That's right.
and you didn't have numbers. It was basically just letters and small letters or things like that. And we got in, all of us just like once the doors were open, we all stormed through. And then I found it quite boring because you had the directory, so you just filed down all directories of employees. And
You dialed into the Pentagon and you found it quite boring.
Yep.
Okay.
So you
Because
wouldn't
once you've done it,
you wouldn't want someone like me doing that. I'd be going, now, where's the key to the nuclear missile?
Oh, yeah. See,
like war games.
yeah, that's right.
Would you like to play a game?
Yes. Classic movie.
Yes.
Wow. Geez, and what happened after that?
So I was on a sports team.
Uh-huh.
And so I wasn't supposed to be doing that, unbeknown to myself.
Hacking.
Well, we didn't have the word hacking wasn't around that time. It's more like it was like a game. It was more like we didn't have even.
It was a challenge.
It was a challenge. Yeah.
Somebody said, can you do this? And you thought, well, we'll go and find out.
Yeah, exactly. It's a curious, sort of like, can you add 1 + 1? Yes. And so then all of a sudden I was visited by somebody from the FBI and then soon after the CIA, and apparently, allegedly, they were on the sports team many years prior to me, but I couldn't find them on the sports team. So,
Oh, is that what they told you?
yeah, that's what they told me.
Oh.
Did they rock up in a big black SUV with dark tinted windows?
I wish it would have made it so exciting. No, they were just introduced on the golf course because I was a golf professional.
So none of the skullduggery secret squirrel
Well, no,
type
because
stuff.
that'd be
No.
obvious.
No.
Oh no, it'd be so much more fun.
I would have,
more
but
fun.
they did give me a business card, CIA, FBI, and I did ask them. I said, well, how do I become part of the FBI? How do I become part of this whole thing? And they said, well, unfortunately, you really have to be an American citizen. So I was like, well, that was it.
Well, I suppose you
couldn't
could
be
have
part of
become
that.
an American citizen if you wanted to, I suppose.
I could.
It's
always an
I
option.
guess, yeah.
So as we go down the path now, obviously what you're talking about is a vastly different time
Yes.
to where we are now.
Yes.
There is so much information out there.
Yes.
We know that the operator is the weakest link.
Yes.
The operator is just somebody that is using technology as a tool.
Yes.
They don't have a lot of knowledge. They don't really care beyond what they need to know in order to use it. How are we going to go to that next level? So much information has been compromised.
Yes.
One of the things I have a problem with is you want to make a simple inquiry. And they want to know everything, including the current colour of the undies
Absolutely.
you're wearing. And this I refuse to give them.
Yes.
I borrow the names of dead people. The number
Absolutely.
of inquiries I've made and given my address as Railway Road, Karrakatta is phenomenal.
Yes.
But the point is, and this is where security comes in my opinion, even though commercially they might see some advantage, they shouldn't be asking for that information. But the extent to which they're asking the information, they should not be asking for. So as I see it, security is a two-way street. We're going to have to turn around to some people and say, yeah, you see a commercial advantage to this, but you have no right to ask the amount of information that you're asking.
Yeah, so it's an interesting conversation because actually it branches out further than just security. It branches into legislation or law. And I've just put an article together because I'm doing a presentation with the WA Law Society called Legally Mine.
Yeah.
And we're going to be, I'm going to be showing some basic hacking techniques, how I can actually obtain data from lawyers. And out of that,
You're going to scare the hell out of them when you do that. You know that, don't you?
Hopefully.
And I hope you do.
Hopefully. And then what I've done is I've sort of crossed that together with legislation. So the Privacy Act 1988 of the Commonwealth. The problem with that...
Well, it was written in
protection.
1988 for a start.
Exactly. Inside of that legislation, you've got a term called information. So you've got personal information and you've
Right.
got sensitive information,
Yeah.
but nowhere does it say data. And the only state that mentions data, because data and information is significantly different, the only state that mentions data is New South Wales.
Really?
Yeah, they've got a data and information.
Is that because their act has been updated since then?
Probably. They seem to be a little bit more on the ball. So
See, this is a problem, isn't it? The people who make the laws that govern the technology, pardon me, often don't understand it.
Yep. So
And they don't talk to people like you and Ben enough.
no. So in the last 2 years, I went down the rabbit hole to try and protect our elderly. So our elderly are scammed quite
Good on
frequently. And I found a loophole in the Telecommunications Act, which gave way to people able to do more spoofing of calls.
Isn't that funny? We had this very conversation round about this time last night. We were talking about this very issue.
Yeah.
And my position is this, and I will not recant from this position. And if big tech says, oh, this is going to be too hard, I'll say that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Yep.
Spoofing should absolutely be illegal.
Yes,
Now,
correct.
I can see, for example, that you might have it, like, let's say, for example, this radio station. We might want to ring you and send our number. That should be done through our telco.
Yep.
Right? Why do you want to do it? Well, we're a radio station. We want to make sure when people ring, they know the
Correct.
radio station's calling.
Correct.
That's fine.
Yep.
And that's legitimate, and it's coming from this building.
Yep.
But me being able to say, gee, I know Brenda's phone number and I'm going to send Brenda's phone number to Ben, I'm sorry, that should not be allowed to happen.
Correct. So your security protocol, so that's where IT crosses over.
Yep.
So your security protocol comes into play right there.
Yeah.
But so 2 years later, so it started 2 years ago, speaking to a number of state ministers and representation, I made my way all the way up to federal, and the submission for legislation change to prevent phone spoofing and to that as a definition into legislation. Was endorsed by Linda Reynolds and then sent to the Attorney General.
Well, Linda's got a brain. She'd get across that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But this needs to be done urgently, and there's one other thing that needs to be done. I should not be able to obtain a VoIP number which I can then divert anywhere on the face of planet Earth. Once again, we should have the same approach here, and I will say to big tech, if there are technical issues that need to be done, that's a you problem and you need to do it.
Yep.
And what needs to happen is the same as what happens in Australia if you acquire a prepaid mobile phone.
Yep.
If you go and buy the SIM, it has to be registered to you. It has to be registered to a person whose identity has been verified. Because this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, so the methods that are being used, the attack vectors being used, are, I would say they're classical methods. So before digital, we had analog and they had different ways of obtaining data. Now they're using the same methods back in the day, but just on a digital platform. So you've got dumpster diving back in the day.
Yeah.
And now you've got the same thing where they're sort of going through your servers or if they access your emails accounts or social engineering, because you're giving so much information away.
Yeah.
And then we have data, so the Cambridge Analytica, which is the big movie that came out to highlight that.
Yep.
You got those
But
issues
how many
now.
people realise they got information that was so readily out there?
No,
It was
very few.
Information that was given, that people readily gave, that was easily harvested. I mean, ironically, and I've always looked back at this, the reason they got cranky with Cambridge Analytica was because they did such a damn good job
Very good.
with information that people willingly put out there.
Yeah, but it goes back to 2012. There was an article, Target started this. What they did was they took their little loyalty card, and every time that you swiped it through, they would record all the purchases.
Yep.
And what they were able to determine was they were able to determine if somebody was pregnant just from their purchases.
Yes.
So they started sending this father of a teenage daughter advertising about pregnancy and baby, all this whole baby market. And he called them up and said, hey, look, stop sending me this stuff. You know, I've got a teenage daughter. She's nowhere near doing any of that, what you suggest. And we don't need any baby gear. It turns out that the teenage girl was pregnant.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
And so basically Target found out that she was pregnant before her father did. So that's data. That's the collection of data.
And it's so readily done.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there's so much information out there that people just willingly give.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's an extension of the fact that people, for example, you see this more with, certainly with millennials, they're quite willing, for example, to take intimate photographs of themselves and post them online.
Yeah, no, there's a whole...
And nowhere does it occur to them that there is a thing called an acrimonious split. And they say, oh, we've got laws to protect you now. Yeah, sure. You can go and stick his nary ass in jail. The only problem is, once it's out on the internet, as you well know, it's in the wild. Sure, he might be in jail and he shouldn't have done it. Yeah, we can all agree on that.
That's too late.
But it doesn't alter the fact that some very, very compromising pictures of you are on the internet.
Yes.
They're now on a server based out of Belarus, and Vladimir's not going to tell them to hand it back.
Absolutely. Or you don't even know where those servers are. And then you've got backups. You've got backups of that data. So even if you
And somebody copies it and transfers it, and you don't, and it's on literally on thousands of websites.
Yep.
Yeah. What is that movie where that's the comedian that grew up in front of the camera?
That's
you mean
the Truman Show with Jim
Yes, the
Carrey.
Truman yeah, absolutely. That's exactly. We are in that. that
You
movie.
mean the one where he ultimately decides to sail to, and he realises that he literally hits a wall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. At night, we'll take a break. Phones aren't working.
Okay.
Because they're doing some major technical work around here.
Yay.
So you two should be really exciting, because all of this stuff is just sort of slowly imploding on us as we're around. You should be more excited than the kid on Christmas Eve, actually.
I'm right at home, really.
Yeah, I
For
know
over
that.
30 years, Cura has been helping Western Australians stay at home longer, providing personalised in-home care and assistance. With Cura, you'll see the same familiar face, friends who'll treat you with care and respect. Whether you need a little help with the shopping, appointments around the home, or personal care, whatever you need, whenever you need it, Cura cares. See how Cura can help you or your loved ones stay at home. at curacare.org.au.
No wonder Emergency Denture Repairs has been Perth's preferred denture experts for 40 years, because EDR gives you more. Dentures plus adjustments and new implant technology. They do denture repairs while you wait. They offer full and partial dentures at manufacturer direct prices, and they guarantee to beat any written quote by 10%. EDR, Wembley, Warwick, Victoria Park, Maddington, Bassendean, and their new practice in Fitzgerald Street, North Perth. Call 9382 2222. EDR.com.au.
Talking online privacy and security for ExpressVPN.
Working remotely, it's important to think about all the confidential information and documents you handle on a day-to-day basis. Usually your company's IT department would have security measures in place, but because you're working remotely, it's good practice to use a VPN to secure your online traffic and protect your company and personal data. With a secure VPN, you can ensure that 100% of the data being transferred between your devices and the internet is encrypted.
Privacy is important to you in your home, so why would you let people invade your privacy while you're online? In Australia, internet service providers by law have to keep a log of your internet history for 2 years. ExpressVPN puts a stop to this by rerouting your data through a secure encrypted tunnel, so your online
For over For over 30 years, Cura has been helping Western Australians stay at home longer, providing personalised in-home care and assistance. With Cura, you'll see the same familiar face, friends who'll treat you with care and respect. Whether you need a little help with the shopping, appointments around the home or personal care, whatever you need, whenever you need it, Cura cares. See how Cura can help you or your loved ones stay at home at curacare.org.au.
No wonder Emergency Denture Repairs has been Perth's preferred denture experts for 40 years, because EDR gives you more. Dentures plus adjustments and new implant technology. They do denture repairs while you wait. They offer full and partial dentures at manufacturer direct prices, and they guarantee to beat any written quote by 10%. EDR, Wembley, Warwick, Victoria Park, Maddington, Bassendean, and their new practice in Fitzgerald Street, North Perth. Call 9382 2222. EDR.com.au.
Talking online privacy and security for ExpressVPN.
Working remotely, it's important to think about all the confidential information and documents you handle on a day-to-day basis. Usually your company's IT department would have security measures in place, but because you're working remotely, it's good practice to use a VPN to secure your online traffic and protect your company and personal data. With a secure VPN, you can ensure that 100% of the data being transferred between your devices and the internet is encrypted.
Privacy is important to you in your home, so why would you let people invade your privacy while you're online? In Australia, internet service providers by law have to keep a log of your internet history for 2 years. ExpressVPN puts a stop to this by rerouting your data through a secure encrypted tunnel, so your online activity can't be seen by anyone. Secure yourself today. Visit expressvpn.com/6PR and get an extra 3 months free for 1 year. Conditions apply. That's expressvpn.com/.
All right, let's take some calls. Let's see if we can take some calls. We're having some fun tonight.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe that we have Norma. Hello, Norma.
Norma.
That was a good idea that's gone left.
Oops, okay.
Yep.
Curveball.
That was just one of those wonderful... I wondered if this would work. Let's see if we can try it this way.
There's 3 techs in the room, Chris. Do you reckon you got a chance?
Yes, 3 engineers. All right, let's try it. Let's see. Norma, talk to me, please.
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey.
Good. Now, Bevo, you can do me a favour. Put that contraption over there. You want to see how this is running. All right, Norma.
Have I got this sort of power that I can make your phones work?
Oh, that's what I like
that's
about
right.
you, Norma.
It's all about you,
Yep.
Norma. Well done.
Do it, Norma. Talk to me.
This is amazing because I've got one of my bands playing out the back there, and I came in and I'm listening to that lady talking about how she got in a bit of trouble with the American president, I think it was. And it reminded me of the trouble I got into with President Bush when I went to protest.
That's right. Yeah, they sort of said, no, you can't go.
But it's so funny how life is going around in circles. And, I heard you say the phones weren't working. And my phone has been playing up today as well. But I've got 2 people.
Yep.
I don't even know who you are because I wasn't listening to. Sadly.
But that's all right. You're missing out on a fair bit because we're talking about security, which was something you also joined us about last night. So thank you very much for that, Norma. Kevin.
Hi there, Chris and Ben.
And Brenda.
Brenda. I'm just wanting to pick your brains. I'm looking at upgrading my phone. Now, currently I have the Oppo R17 Pro. I am looking at getting Samsung S20 Plus Ultra or Ultra.
Yeah.
I want one of those too, Kevin.
Yeah.
Which is the best way to go? Because I'm having trouble with signal, which I've spoken to you about before.
Right.
Which is the best phone to go with?
Well, look, the Samsungs, they really do perform well. And if you've got a poor signal, there's a little tip where you look for a blue tick that is on the packaging of the phone. The blue tick means that the phone is especially good in areas where you've got poor signal. So if the 20, that monster that you've got your eye on, if that's got a blue tick in it, then, yeah, that would get a thumbs up from me.
All right.
Beauty, you've got your own answer there, really, haven't you?
There
you go. Yeah, okay, thanks.
No worries, Kevin.
It's easy to love that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Guys, we're out of time now, but thank you very much for joining us.
That was quick.
Now, Ben can't be with us next week because he's got personal stuff to attend to.
Yep.
Why don't you come back next week if you don't mind, Brenda? Because we can explore this a bit more. We can also talk about some aspects of security, dispel some myths, and generally help put this idea out there because so many people, whether they realise it or not, fall victim to people who have lax cyber security. We cannot emphasise that enough.
Yep. And look, I've actually just got a quick question. No, we'll skip it until next week and we'll talk about the bear on the table.
Only because time's running out. What's the bear on the table?
The bear on the table, Brenda, if you don't mind, just quickly.
This is cyber security, and he helps adults, believe it or not, with security tips.
There you go.
He helps adults with security tips.
Yeah, it was actually aimed at CEOs and C-suiters because we actually created a comic book.
So, okay. So you got a comic book for executives.
Yes, because it has lots of pictures and it has 1 or 2 words. And
okay. Because they're busy, that's why.
That's exactly right. They don't have time to,
Yeah, well, that all makes sense.
Fluff.
That's awesome.
Guys, once again, thank you very much. And Ben, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And Brenda, we'll get you to pop in again next
Excellent.
week.
See you next
Thank you very much for that.
Catch you later.
For over 30 years, Cura has been helping Western Australians stay at home longer, providing personalised in-home care and assistance.